Welcome back to Lore of League of Legends Part 108, Diana, Scorn of the Moon, updated.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Lore of League of Legends. In this episode,
Close
we're
enough.
carrying on with our final champion from Mount Targon, fighting as a warrior of the Lunari, a faith quashed in the lands around Mount Targon, and yet another...
I think I know the answer if you want to know.
From beyond.
Ow! Ow, ow,
Without
ow,
further
ow.
ado,
1 second. Yeah, of course I want to know. Come on. You kidding me? Of course I want to know. What do you think I'm watching these? I'm gonna say it's something that has to do with the sun, the moon, but she might not no longer hate Diana for what she did. Now she knows that Diana is the only person she can talk to about what she knows. So it has to be obviously something about the sun and the moon, and maybe how they're related. Maybe they're sisters or some shit like that. Luna and what's the other name for sun? Yeah, forgot it. Lunari and the Solari used to be. Yes, that's what I'm. Solari. Luna and Sola. Yeah, makes sense.
I present to you the Lore of Diana, Scorn of the Moon. Enjoy.
Was Luna betrayed or overshadowed by Solari? That's why they hid the temple of the Lunari. And they decide it's like, oh no, only Solari is good. And then the Lunari wanted vengeance. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm assuming we're gonna find out here.
Sheltering from a storm on the unforgiving slopes of Mount Targon after being drawn there by dreams of a mountain and the promise of revelation, Diana's mother and father were exhausted, overwhelmed by blinding storm winds. It was there, beneath the cold, pitiless moonlight, that Diana came into the world as her mother breathed her last.
Oh.
Hunters from the nearby Solari temple...
The Solari became fanatics and so the Lunari heretics. Yep. Kind of what I thought. Yeah, overshadowed by them, whatever.
Diana was wrapped in bare skin and...
I mean, I didn't think necessarily fanatics, but like basically, yeah, like there's only one path and that's the Solari, therefore the Lunari are wrong. Like, probably fanatism, yeah, but yeah.
In the arms of her dead father.
The usual, nothing new.
Where the foundling child was presented to the sun and given the name Diana. She was raised as one of the Solari, becoming an initiate and raised to venerate the sun in all aspects. She learned the legends of the sun and trained every day with the Raharak, the Solari's warrior Templars.
Mm-hmm. But I used to play Diana so much when she came out. It was so like I've been maining cast since beta, right? Like one-trick pony cast, but Diana almost made me not be a one-trick pony. That's how much I enjoyed the champion when it just came out. It's probably even better now. I just never got back into her.
Solari taught that all life came from the sun, that the light
just looks so cool.
False, offering no nourishment and crafting shadows in which only creatures that lurked in the darkness found succor. Yet Diana found the light from the moon entrancing and beautiful in a way that the harsh sun could never match. Every night the young girl would wake from dreams of climbing the mountain to pick night-blooming flowers and watch freshwater springs turn silver in the moonlight. The years went by and Diana found herself ever at odds with the elders and their teachings. She couldn't help but question what she was told, always suspecting there was more that went unsaid in every teaching. As she grew, Diana's sense of isolation only became stronger as childhood friends distanced themselves from her.
It's kind of funny how it's updated, but it's pretty much the same story that the original Diana had, which is fine. I think the story was okay.
At night, watching the silver moon rise at the impossibly distant summit, she felt more and more of an outcast.
Yeah.
The urge to climb the mountain flanks was almost an itch that could never be scratched. But everything she had been taught since birth told her the mountain would claim more than just her life, should she ever try. Only the most worthy and heroic dared make such an ascent. With every passing day, Diana felt more alone and more certain that some vital aspect of her life remained unfulfilled. Her first clue as to what might be came when she was sweeping the temple library as a punishment for arguing with one of the elders. A glint of light behind a sagging bookcase drew Diana's eyes, and upon investigation, she discovered the partially burned pages of an ancient manuscript. Diana took the pages and read them beneath the full moon that very night. What she discovered unlocked a door into her very soul. Diana learned of an all but extinct group known as the Lunari, whose faith saw the moon as a source of life and balance. From what she could understand from the fragmented text, the Lunari spoke of the eternal cycle, day and night, sun and moon, essential for universal harmony.
Makes sense.
This was a revelation, and as she looked beyond the moonlight temple walls, she saw an elderly woman wrapped in a bearskin cloak, trudging up the far path that eventually led to the mountain's summit. The woman saw Diana and called for help, saying that she had to reach the mountain top before morning, an ambition that Diana knew was utterly impossible.
Oh.
Diana's desire to help the woman and climb the mountain warred with everything the Solari taught. The mountain's ascent was for the worthy, and Diana had never felt worthy of anything. Again, the woman asked for her help, and this time Diana did not hesitate. She scrambled over the walls and took the woman's arm, leading her up the mountain, amazed that someone so aged had made it this far. They climbed for hours, above the clouds and into the chill air where the moon and the stars glittered like diamonds. Despite her age, the woman kept climbing, urging Diana onwards when she stumbled or when the air grew thin and cold.
So that's a bit updated. The previous one was like that she found the hidden temple somehow, which again, if you think about it, doesn't really make sense. Like how did like a child find it, whatever. But this woman, which I'm assuming is like, a loon, right? Like a goddess of the moon, found her chosen one and is leading her on to the hidden temple. That makes a bit more sense. I mean, as far as like sense goes in this universe,
As the night wore on, Diana lost track of time as the stars wheeled overhead and all but the mountain faded from view. Together, Diana and the woman climbed ever upwards, and each time her steps faltered, she drew strength from the pale glow of the moon. Eventually, Diana fell to her knees, exhausted and weary beyond imagining. Her entire body was strained to the limits of exhaustion, but when she looked up, it was to see that somehow they had reached the mountaintop. A feat that should not have been possible in a single night.
They're always stumbling into things. Yes, basically, yeah.
Illumination, veils of brilliant light, spirals of vivid colour, and the glimmering ghost of a vast city of silver and gold hovering in the air. She searched for her companion, but the woman was nowhere to be seen. Only the bearskin cloak that mounted Diana's shoulders suggested that it even existed in the first place. Looking into the light, Diana saw the promise of the emptiness within her being fulfilled, the promise of acceptance and the chance to be part of something greater than she could ever imagine. This is what she had sought all her life without truly knowing it. Fresh vitality flowed through her limbs as she rose to her feet, taking a hesitant step towards the incredible vista, her resolve growing stronger with every breath. The light surged and Diana screamed as it poured into her. A union with something vast and inhuman, impossibly ancient and powerful. The sensation was painful, but also joyous. A moment or an eternity, it was both revelatory and hallucinatory. When the light faded, the sense of loss.
Bro, it sounds like one of the best fucking acid trips ever. Saying straight.
Loss was an ache like nothing she had known before. Diana stumbled down the mountain, oblivious to her surroundings, until she found herself before a cleft in the mountainside, a cave mouth that would have been invisible but for the moonlight shadows. Cold and needing shelter for the night, Diana sought refuge within. Inside, however, the narrow cleft widened into the crumbling ruin of what might have once been a temple or vast audience chamber. Its crumbling walls were painted in faded frescoes depicting warriors of silver and gold fighting back to back against an unending host of grotesque monsters as the sky rained comets of searing light. At the centre of the chamber stood a crescent sword and a suit of armour unlike any other, a mail shirt of spun silver rings and wondrously clefted war plate of polished steel. Reflected in the gleam of the armour, Diana saw her once sable hair now as purest white, and a runestone on her forehead with incandescent light. She recognised the symbol so exquisitely etched into the plates of the armour, the same symbol depicted in the pages of the burned manuscript she found in the library. This was Diana's moment of truth. She had a choice before her: turn away from her destiny, or choose to embrace it. She reached out, and as her fingers touched the cold steel of the armour, her mind exploded with images of lives she had never lived, memories she had never experienced, and sensations she had never known. Scraps of ancient history raged like a blizzard in her mind, secret knowledge she but dimly grasped, and innumerable futures scattered like wind-blown dust. The visions faded, and Diana saw she was now fully clad in the silver warplate, which fit her as though wrought especially for her. Her mind was still afire with newly acquired knowledge, but much of it remained frustratingly out of reach, almost like a picture half in shadow, half in light. She was still Diana, but she was also something more, something eternal. Feeling vindicated with this new knowledge, Diana left the mountain cave and made her way back towards the Solari temple, knowing she had to tell the elders what it was she had learnt.
And that's where shit goes south. Yeah.
She was met at the temple gates by Leona, the master of the Raharak and the Solari's greatest warrior. Diana was brought before the temple elders, who listened with mounting horror as she told them what she had learned from the Lanari.
Mounting horror.
She finished her tale, and the elders immediately denounced her as a heretic, a blasphemer, and peddler of false gods. She was sentenced to death.
Kill or be killed, champions.
Had projected what was so
it is kill or be killed, champions.
They had turned their backs on revelations that had been brought from the very summit of the holy mountain. Diana's fury built at the willful blindness, and blazing orbs of silver fire spun in the air around her. With a scream of rage-fueled frustration, Diana's sword swept out, and where it struck, silver fire burned with killing light. Again and again, Diana lashed out, and when her fury had ebbed, she saw the carnage she had unleashed. The elders were dead, and Leona lay on her back, her armour smoking as though fresh from the forge. Appalled at what she had done, Diana fled the site of the massacre, escaping into the wilds of Mount Targon as the Solari reeled from the savagery of her attack. Now, hunted by the warriors of the Raharak, Diana seeks to piece together fragmentary memories of the Lanari hidden within her mind. Driven by half-remembered truths
I can't find it.
Of ancient knowledge,
No.
Diana has only one truth to cling to: that the Lanari and the Solari need not be foes, that there is a greater destiny for her than that of a simple warrior.
Yep.
What her destiny might be is unknown, but Diana will find it, whatever the cost.
Well, just look for Leona. She'll unite you guys. You guys are gonna be best friends forever, BFFs, you know, and you can fight the whatever evil that you find. It feels like it's kind of funny, but like it feels like there's a lot of united fronts preparing for something, right? So like Leona, Diana is gonna be, and I guess Pantheon is gonna be a united front against, I'm assuming, the Void, the Bilgewater, which is basically Lucian, Olaf-ish, Misfortune are gonna unite against Shadow Isles and stuff like that. Yeah, it feels like there's gonna be building unity. Same with like Freylord unities against the whatever they locked under the ice there. That's what's her name? Goddamn, Lysandra locked under the ice. All that stuff. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was Diana. All right. Okay, before we do the last one for